Hey, what's up, guys? I will start in 1 second. 1 second. So this is my first time going live, so I'm a little confused right now, but what I have pulled up is just a variety of sports books. I have OddsJam pulled up, and we are going to talk about some bets. So I don't live bet often. I think it's pretty stressful, and the lines move very quickly. So I'm just going to look at some of these lines. We're going to hit some bets, and we are going to discuss why I like them. So the first things first, as a sports bettor, you need as many sportsbook accounts as possible to be successful. So we have some links in the bio. If you're from New York, you should get Caesars. If you're from, Pennsylvania, you should get Twin Spires. You should get as many sportsbooks as possible in your state. So for example, if we go to football, we have the NFL playoffs coming up. You can filter by sport. So here we have NFL. You can click into a particular game. Here we have all the sportsbooks in the state, all of the odds, and you can see, DraftKings is giving you the best price on the Bengals. So if you want to bet on the Bengals, regardless of any math of if this minus 220 is good or not, you want to place a bet on the sportsbook with the best odds. I mean, it's all that makes sense, right? DraftKings is the book that's giving you the best price on the Bengals, so you should bet on the Bengals on DraftKings minus 220. Would you rather, bet on MGM, which has the Bengals minus 250? You have to bet 250 to win $100, or on DraftKings, where you have to bet 220 to win $100 of profit if the Bengals win. Now, I will say a lot of people, they'll ask, if you see on social media, people just I don't post the odds because plus 115 versus plus 125. It's a meaningless difference. The truth of the matter is no sports bettor wins every time. I've lost a shit ton of money some days. I've won a lot of money some days. And the truth of the matter is getting 3% better odds is all that matters in the long run in terms of being profitable as a sports bettor. So you always want to get the best odds. So you want to get the best sports books in your state. So if you're curious what sports books are in other states, like for example, Colorado has some of the most sports books. I can switch to Colorado. It's like, oh my God, I wish I lived in Colorado, because there's so many more bookmakers available. You have WinBet, you have The Score, you have Sports Illustrated. Freaking magazine is now launching a sports book in the United States. It's insane. They have FoxBet, Elite Sportsbook, tons of sports books. So you want to be line shopping aggressively. So I'm currently in Arizona, so I'll switch my state back to Arizona. And again, just a few things to highlight before we dive in. We hit some bets. I have a bunch of my sportsbook accounts open. So I'm back on MGM. MGM hates me. I'm limited on MGM. They don't really take much of my action. They'll take like $50 on the line, but I put some money in there to place some bets. I have a spreadsheet up to track my profit and loss for bets I place during live streams. I have FanDuel up. I have Twin Spires up, Arizona Sportsbook. I have Caesars Sportsbook up. You can see I have a bunch of bets open on Caesars. All of these were posted on TikTok. So I try to post, whenever I place a bet, I try to post immediately on TikTok as well as YouTube Shorts, my bet, just so if it's still available, people can tail. Sometimes the odds change, they get worse, but sometimes you're still able to get in, even if you don't subscribe to OddsJam. So long story short, you can filter out sportsbooks in OddsJam. So I have 5 Dimes excluded, some of the global sports books. You can add in your phone number if you want text alerts. You can decide if you want to see player props. You can filter a lot of your settings if you want email alerts or not. I personally don't use emails. I keep them off. I don't like getting emails. I've never liked getting emails. I literally am the guy who created this software. I started OddsJam. I've never used an email alert in my life. And the reason is slow people in sports betting don't get paid. I've discussed this, a lot, but sports betting, lines move quick. People never think so. People don't think really lines move in sports betting. They know the price of game stock or GameStop, I mean, the stock was shooting around, but people don't think about that in sports. Is in sports, like, if sharp action comes in on a tennis player, his line can move from plus 105 to minus 115 in 2 minutes. Like, these lines can move pretty quickly. So I try to spend as much time as possible on the site. I use a bunch of the betting tools, low holds, middles, positive EV bets. So let's place some bets. I'll explain why I like them. And what I was thinking about is I can also just hit some ARBs. A lot of people are curious, like, oh, what is arbitrage? How can I place an ARB bet? So I'll discuss that as well. And then we also have a blog. I know I've discussed this before. We try to send some of these blog posts out via email. We literally have blog posts about everything. We have some good writers. I write some of these. So if you are curious about anything, if you're curious about DraftKings, promos, type in DraftKings. There's DraftKings promos. So long story short, as a sports bettor, key number one is you need as many sports books as possible. You're never going to make money with only one. It's just not going to happen. You have to line shop ruthlessly. I've made okay money sports betting, but it hasn't come throughout one bet. I've had some bad beats. I've had some wins that I probably shouldn't have won where teams come back. But the point is as a sports bettor, this is all variance, and it's your job as a sports bettor to get the best possible odds and find the best possible odds so you can place bets that are mathematically profitable. If you're placing bets that are mathematically profitable, you will win in the long run. Now, the first way you can make money as a sports bettor is arbitrage betting. So what is arbitrage betting? Sportsbooks have different odds, which means you can place bets on one outcome on one sportsbook and the opposite outcome, the equal and opposite outcome on another sportsbook, and make a risk-free profit. So for example, in this Bills game, you can see the Bills over 39.5 points is minus 165 odds on MGM. The under is plus 180 on DraftKings. So this is an ARB, right? The plus number is greater than the minus number. So I can make a risk-free profit. You can pull up an arbitrage calculator right here. You can make a risk-free profit by placing bets on equal and opposite sides. MGM has the odds on the over, way too good, and DraftKings has the odds on the under, way too good. So for example, if let's say I'm able to bet $100 on MGM on the over, $57 on DraftKings on the under, I will earn a risk-free $325. Regardless of the outcome of this event, I will earn $325. There's over 39.5 points, under 39.5 points. I don't care. I make $325 in profit. So I'll place one ARB bet just to, show the example of, OddsJam can make you risk-free money. So we'll go here. We'll go to this game. I'll go to over 39.5 points, minus 165. I'm limited heavily on MGM in Arizona. Made way too much money off these suckers. So if I put in $900, I hit place bet, what you'll see on this side of my screen is it says your requested bet is over the allowed limit. The maximum stake has been adjusted. Do you want to place your bet or not? So I'll hit place bet. I'll see how much they give me, and they give me $37.38. So I get $37.38 on MGM. So if I go back here, I put in $37.38, $37.38. What that means is I have to bet $21.44 on DraftKings to earn a risk-free profit of 2%, which is $1, which doesn't seem great, but granted, this takes 20 seconds of work, and I'm working on a max limited MGM account, so give me a break. So if I go into DraftKings right here and I go to NFL, we've said this, but I say this all the time, but sports betting is a speed game. If you're slow, it's just not going to work. You have to be faster. You have to know how to find markets. So if that means you have to study the sports books, figure out how to get to alternate totals, then you should do that. So if I go here, I'll search for, the Patriots game, and you can see under 39.5 points is plus 180. So if we go back to OddsJam, the ARB calculator, plus 180, we want to place 21.44. It doesn't really make, whatever. I'll place it anyways. DraftKings already hates me. They limited me too. So I placed this bet. I just made a risk-free profit of 121. So I'll add this to my spreadsheet. Again, this is just to set the precedence that, yes, I just made a risk-free 121 on OddsJam. Regardless of what happens in this Bills-Patriots game, I'm earning $1.21. But we'll get into some more interesting bets in a second. So I'll have the over-under in the Bills-Patriots game. So we'll type that in here. This isn't the type of sports betting, as you can tell, that I really like to do. It's not what I enjoy, but a lot of people care about arbitrage. So I'm just showing you an example of how you can make risk-free money with OddsJam, even if you're on a max limited account. So this isn't relevant. This isn't really relevant. This isn't really relevant. I'm making 121 in risk-free profit, and I'll add a notes section that says a risk-free profit. So this was an ARB. So regardless of what happens, I'm earning $1.21. Again, this is just due to discrepancies in sportsbook odds. This is what makes sports betting so crazy, right? Is these sportsbooks all have different odds. If I, want to buy a stock, it's not like the price is vastly different whether I go to Robinhood or E-Trade. And that's completely different than sports betting, where in this Bills-Patriots game, every sportsbook that you go to, so I'll switch to a state with more sportsbooks. If you switch to a state that doesn't have legalized sports betting, it'll just show you everything. So you can see all these sportsbooks have vastly different odds. It's pretty insane. And that's what makes sports betting so fascinating. And these minor differences, like plus 165 to plus 184, is what can make bets either profitable or not profitable. So we'll go back here to the ARB page. We'll see if there's anything else that's interesting. There's some live bets. I'm going to ignore those. I don't really like to bet live. And I'll go back to my state of Arizona, and then we can hit some other positive expected value bets and things like that. We can see if there's anything on the middles page or the positive EV page. So this is the first bet we'll place. Kansas City Chiefs minus 9.5, first half point spread is plus 125 odds on DraftKings. Pinnacle is only giving you plus 106, right? So Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. They're only giving you plus 106, and this is an ARB, right? This bet on the positive expected value page, which has an edge. So if you view the bottom right here, 5.33%, this tells you the profit margin of your bet to the zero VIG line from Pinnacle, right? So all these sports books, they bake VIG, they bake juice into their market. That's how sports books make money. They charge you the VIG as a bettor, which means they're not giving you fair odds, right? So Pinnacle's market is minus 123, plus 106. So if we go to a zero VIG calculator, minus 123, plus 106, this means that the fair price for Chiefs minus 9.5, once you remove the juice, or the VIG from Pinnacle, is minus 113, right? Or plus 113 for the Chiefs minus 9.5, minus 113.62 for the opposing side, which is Steelers plus 9.5. So we're getting plus 195. So my decision as a sports bettor is, do I want to place this bet or do I not? And, you know that there has to be a profitable bet. I've said this in some of my YouTube videos, but whenever there's an arbitrage, like if I had a Pinnacle account, Pinnacle's not legal in the United States. It's completely banned. But if I had a Pinnacle account, I could place a bet on both sports books and earn a risk-free return, right? I could arbitrage bet it, which is what we did, right here. But I don't have a Pinnacle account. I'm not in Canada. I'm not in Europe. I don't have access to Pinnacle, which means that I can't, arb this bet on DraftKings against Pinnacle. But because Pinnacle is one of the sharpest sports books in the world, along with Bookmaker and Bet Online and some of these other sports books, I know that there has to be a profitable bet, right? Whenever there's an ARB, that means there's free money. If I had a Pinnacle account as well as a DraftKings account, I could ARB these sports books and make a risk-free profit. But I don't have a Pinnacle account. But what I do know is because I can make risk-free money, there has to be a profitable bet. And because Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world, I'm willing to gamble and take the bet on DraftKings. So I'll add this bet. I'll place it kind of small, and we'll, kind of start there. So first half, alternate spread, you have to, be able to move quick as a sports bettor. I'll go to the Chiefs game. If you want to tail this right now live, feel free to tail it. I think the bet is good. I'm happy with it. So I'm going to place $250 on it. DraftKings accepts the bet. Boom, we have our first positive EV bet placed. So we have Chiefs minus 9.5, first half point spread. This is plus 125. We threw $250 on it. So I'll add a column called expected profit margin. And what we can do is we can go back to the positive EV page and we can see how good we think this bet is. So I think this bet, right? I trust Pinnacle over DraftKings. I will bet against DraftKings any day of the week in any market if there's an arb to Pinnacle, right? And you can see that there's a 5.33% return to the zero vig line from Pinnacle right here. So 5.33% means our edge is 0.0533. We bet $250. So my expected profit from this bet is $13.33. So it's to be determined if this bet wins or loses, but this is a mathematically profitable bet. Sports has variance, crazy stuff happens, but given the odds on DraftKings, this bet is worth betting. So we have one arb where I'm earning 121. I know it's not thrilling, but it's also 11 p.m. at night. Bets happen at various points in the day. You never know when a player is going to get injured and crazy arbs are going to occur. You never know when sharp action is going to come in and vastly move a line and there's going to be great arbs or great plus EV bets. All you know is that the more you're on OddsJam, the more money that you're going to make, right? You never know when the best betting opportunities are going to occur. I've had some of my best bets. I placed a bet earlier on WinBet. So this is my, WinBet account, whatever. You can see right here, I have some money on the Clippers. It looks, whatever, terrible. But I got this bet on the Kings. This game is tomorrow, but I have them plus 200 odds. I posted a TikTok about this bet. Some people were able to tail on TikTok. So follow me on TikTok. It's just OddsJam, then Alex, OddsJam Alex, where I give out my plays in real time. I got the Kings plus 200. I placed this bet maybe 2 hours ago when I posted the TikTok. And you can see WinBet is already letting me cash out $633. So I could make a risk-free $133 if I cashed out this bet. And I placed it twice. So I could make a risk-free $266 if I decided to cash out these bets, but I'm leaving them open because I think they're more profitable open. But long story short, Sportsbook started to post NBA odds for tomorrow's games, and there were some line discrepancies. So I took advantage. And you can see, WinBet is all the way down to plus 125 on the Kings. The Lakers are like maybe minus 130 favorites, and we got the Kings plus 200. Insane. But you're not going to, get this bet if you're being lazy, right? These bets happen at all times of the day. The more you are on OddsJam, the more money you'll make. Like I talk to a lot of our users all the time, or I get emails, and the users who make the most money spend the most time on our product. It's not surprising, but you never know when these arbs are going to occur. You never know when these positive EV bets are going to occur. So, even if you're working from home, let's say, just have, this is your work screen right here, this FanDuel, but whatever, this is your work screen. Just keep OddsJam open, hit the refresh button with the books you use. Hey, nothing's changed. Okay, I'll go back to work. It takes 5 seconds, right? Just check, because whenever, you're checking for lines, there's a chance you get an incredible line like I got on Kings, plus 200 right here on WinBet, which is worth $133 in risk-free profit if I decided to cash out per $500 bet. But again, I'm going to leave it open. I'm going to ride the Kings because I think it's more profitable to leave the bet open in terms of EV. But the point is, check OddsJam as much as possible, right? If you want to make money, you have to check the platform more frequently. It's pretty simple, but it's the case. People who think they can, make a lot of money NFL betting and just log into DraftKings, at 12 p.m. on a Sunday and start to bet on NFL games, that's just not the case at all, right? You have to be looking for lines throughout the week because you'll find good betting opportunities and they don't always last a long time. So I have money on the Clippers, so I'm not really happy about that bet, but plus 137 was a great price. So hopefully the Clippers can start to come back. So we'll play some other bets. I'll add them to this live bet sheet. I'll make this, public so people can see it. People can track my profit and loss when I'm betting live. Every sports bettor has winning streaks. Every sports bettor has losing streaks. Like when we place a bet and we have 3% profit margin, we have 3% profit margin, right? The coin is, maybe 52% to land in our favor and 48% to land against us and go the opposite way. Like it's very hard to know if your bets are profitable as a sports bettor until you see a lot of bets add up and then you track your total profit. So we'll go back to the ARB page. I'll hit the refresh button and we could place all these ARBs, right? I could make a risk-free. MGM limited me as we showed in the last ARB and I made $1. But if I didn't want to be lazy during this live stream, I could go down row by row by row and place these ARBs and make, $1.25 off of each one. And I'd have, whatever, like $8 in profit in 5 minutes. But I'm not going to do that. What I do like, though, is some of these overs on MGM. So here you can see, MGM is an ARB to Pinnacle. Pinnacle, sharpest sportsbook in the world, which OddsJam has a live feed to, is at minus 160 odds on over 41.5 points. You can pick up minus 135 on MGM. So that's insane value. So I'm just going to place this bet. It's just a positive EV play, right? So if we go to the positive expected value page, we can find our edge or our profit margin. So let's find this bet again. It's over 41.5 in the Bills-Patriots game. So over 41.5, we're getting minus 135. This is 3.8% profit margin to Pinnacle's market. And Pinnacle's the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So long story short, over the course of the long run, if you bet $1,000 on these types of wagers, you will earn $38 in profit per $1,000 bet. So I'll place this bet. We'll go here. We'll go to over 41.5, minus 135. I'll try to bet 500. BetMGM is going to say, get out of here. You've made way too much money off us. They're going to limit me, as you see here, and they give me 30.58. An embarrassing amount of money, but whatever. So we have Bills. We have the Bills game. Who are they playing? Patriots. Over 41.5 first half. And this was at minus 135 odds. MGM gave us 30.58, which again isn't a lot of money, but this is my first live stream. I'm kind of feeling it out and just trying to get some bets down. So I get talking live is a little scary. This is 3.8% edge. So our profit margin is 3.8%, which means our expected profit from this bet is $1.16. So not a lot, but it's a mathematically profitable bet. And obviously, if I weren't limited on BetMGM, this bet could be much more lucrative if I could place $200 on this or something. So we'll go back here. We'll go to the ARB page. And I do want to mention, use the OddsJam bet tracker so you can add a bet. This is a free feature, by the way. Just create an account on OddsJam. It doesn't matter if you're in an unregulated state, you're not paying for OddsJam yet. You can add a bet to your bet tracker. You can just click this little plus icon on any betting tool. You can add it in. What's great about the bet tracker is it will track your closing line value. So the bet tracker will show you how your bet performed versus the closing line. So maybe, you placed a bet minus 180, the line closed minus 170 to Pinnacle, the zero vig line. Once you remove the juice, your bet sucked, right? Your bet wasn't good. And that's why it's useful to have the OddsJam bet trackers. It shows you how often you're beating the closing line. And you can also add a bet to your bet tracker by just, clicking any odd on OddsJam right here. So we have 3 bets placed. We have 1 ARB. We have 2 plus EV bets placed. And I'll continue to search around. Again, the opportunities aren't changing much right now. It's 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. Not surprising. All the games for today have started. Not a lot of sportsbooks have posted odds for tomorrow's games, and we can just kind of look around for interesting opportunities. So I'm not even going to bother betting on BetMGM, but if I did have an MGM account, I would bet this. I would bet this. Any ARBs to Pinnacle, right? All of these are mathematically profitable. So you go to the plus EV page and you can see a bunch right here. I would bet this. I would bet this, right? You can kind of go down the list. I would bet this. I would bet all these. All these have like a 4% profit margin. They're uncorrelated. So if you bet $1,000 total on these uncorrelated bets, from the Eagles game to the Mississippi State Georgia game to the Bills game, you're earning $40 in profit per $100 bet. So you have to feel pretty good about that, right? You may, of course, lose money. Sports has variance, but over the course of the long run, you will make money. You just have to learn to accept variance. So we can go back here, and I have player props turned off. I don't bet on player props that much, but I currently have them set off. But during the day, once books start to post player props, there's oftentimes a lot more ARBs. So if you had an MGM account and a DraftKings account, you could earn a risk-free profit of 3%. So we'll continue to scroll down and see if there's anything interesting on the ARB page. We already bet this, so I can add this to my bet tracker right here. I bet $250 on the Chiefs, minus 9.5. This, we'll skip over all the MGM ones, and then we can skip over to the plus EV page. So right now it looks like I just have 3 bets placed. I don't know how long I want this live stream to be. I'm pretty tired, but we'll go here to the plus EV page. I'll turn off the live odds. We already placed this. I'm limited on MGM. This bet I kind of like. So 49ers first half money line, plus 140 on Caesars, but maybe I'm a little less confident in it, right? Because BetMGM and DraftKings are both giving me plus 135. Pinnacle's all the way down at plus 125, so they've clearly taken some action on the 49ers. So this bet, seems a little good. I'm going to skip over it. It's not like a clear must bet. It's not an ARB to Pinnacle. It's not, insane value to every sportsbook out there like MGM and DraftKings have plus 135. So I'll skip over this plus 140 for now, and we'll see if there's anything else out there I want to bet, and I'll explain why I like it. So Bruins minus 2, I'm pretty sure I already bet this earlier. So if I go to Caesars, looks like it logged me out. But I bet this earlier at plus 120, so it looks like it moved down a bit. None of these bets really jump out at me enough necessarily to place on a live stream, except for maybe this. So let's go to Twin Spires. It looks like it logged me out. So I'll log back in. Twin Spires Sportsbook. Again, if you're in a state where Twin Spires is legal, click the link below. They offer a $1,000 risk-free bet. All these sportsbooks in the U.S., they're highly regulated. I feel like a lot of people are worried about taking advantage of these, sign-up bonuses, like new players get $1,000 risk-free because, everyone's just used to losing money gambling. Everyone's been told you lose money gambling. It's just, sports betting is like slots. But it's not the case because as a sports bettor, you can choose what you want to bet on. You can choose what promos you want to bet on. So if you understand math, you're able to find, great value. Like an $1,000 risk-free bet on Twin Spires is worth roughly $700 in EV if you know how to do it properly. So it's a great promo if you want a good bet to place your risk-free bet on, or you have questions about how can I, get out of this risk-free and just earn $600 of profit. We're happy to answer. Just email us, contact@oddsjam.com, literally the word contact@oddsjam.com. We're happy to answer for you, but definitely take advantage of this if you're in a state where Twin Spires is legal. But anyways, you can go here and we can see this UFC fight. I love betting on UFC. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to watch. Nothing is better. Like, I love sports betting. Not only do I love making money, like, don't get me wrong, I love that my bets are profitable. I love that I've made money sports betting, but also it's just fun to, have sweats on games. Like you can see right here, Pinnacle's all the way down at minus 122 for this fighter. FanDuel's at minus 118, DraftKings at minus 125, Caesars at minus 120. This was a bet straight from the OddsJam plus EV page. And I already know I've already placed a few UFC bets on this fight. I already have some money on him actually at better odds. I think I have plus 102 on him on FanDuel. I'm not positive about that, but I can log in and we'll see what I have on this guy. So I have a lot of bets open on FanDuel, a lot of promos. Again, check the sports books, check their promos. like tomorrow on FanDuel, you have to opt in, but it says come back Thursday. So I guess I can't opt in until Thursday. They have a lot of good promos. But anyways, I have a lot of bets open. You can see I already have this guy bet at plus 102 odds. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he's now a plus EV play on OddsJam at minus 110 odds, which is pretty crazy. Lines are clearly moving towards him a lot because we have him literally plus 102 on FanDuel. So I posted this in a YouTube video from a while ago. I have a few UFC fights, as you can see, open, but now he's good at minus 110. So lines have completely flipped. Before he was an underdog, now he's a favorite, and all the action continues to come in on him, and he becomes more of a favorite. Pinnacle's all the way down at minus 122. This bet has 1.37% edge, which doesn't seem like a lot, but just looking at the market, it seems pretty profitable. So maybe we want to dabble in this. Maybe we want to place a bet. So I can go here. I can go to UFC. And again, I already have him, so I don't want to play this particularly big, but it's still, I think it's a good bet. So we can go here, and here's the guy we want to bet on. We can try placing 500 on him. I made way too much money off Twin Spires. I'm not going to take it. They're giving me 186.56. I think the bet is profitable by 1.37%. So maybe I'm earning like 250 in EV. Doesn't seem particularly great, but again, it's late at night, and I'll place it for the sake of it. So we now have two bets tracked. What I really want to show is during these live streams with bets that people can tail live, that I think these bets, are profitable. And what you'll see is through the ARBs, through the plus EV bets, I literally can promise you, we will see this profit go up and up and up. And I'll do them at different times of the day. It's late at night again, so all the games for today are ended. There's not much going on, but I wanted to try out my first live stream. So I've gained minus 125, and this is UFC. And we got him minus 110. So this should actually say money line. Again, I love to track my bets. I track all my profit and loss because I want to know where I'm winning and losing. Like, if you're just placing bets as a sports bettor and you don't even know if you're making or losing money, why are you placing bets on sports? It just doesn't make sense. And our edge on this bet is 1.37%. So I think this bet is profitable at 1.37%. And our expected profit is this. So I get a couple questions, which this reminds me of, which is one, do you place bets that are far in advance? And I do, right? Like you can see a lot of these fights I place bets on, like I place all the sharp action started coming in on this guy like a week and a half ago. And that's when I initially bet him on FanDuel. And the fight was like 3 weeks away. So yes, I place bets in advance. Some lines may move against you. Some lines may move in your favor, right? If you place a bet on the Chiefs, let's say right now, we just placed a bet on the Chiefs. If Mahomes breaks his leg during practice, obviously the line's going to move against us. But again, at the same time, like lines could move against the Steelers, who they're playing. So I am more than happy to place bets well in the future, as long as I believe that there is a profit margin to the bet. Another question I get is how many bets should I place per day from OddsJam, from the positive EV page to make money? And the answer to that is it depends, right? It depends. How much free time do you have? The more you're using OddsJam, the more bets you'll be able to get down that are profitable, the more money you'll be able to make on OddsJam. And at the same time, there's not a lot of, like, it depends on the games going on. Sometimes there's crazy line movement. If you look on a Saturday during college football season, all the NFL line movement, the NBA games going on, the college football games going on, sometimes I'd have freaking like 500 bets placed, it felt like, by the time it was Saturday for college football, just based on the amount of line movement that happens. But sometimes if it's a slow day and it's just MLB season, you only have a few bets on. Like, you don't just want to bet. That's the great thing about being a sports bettor, is you don't have to place a bet, right? Like, if you don't want to place a bet, you don't have to. If there's no good bets that day, you don't have to place the bets. But Yeah, that's really all I have to say on that. So there's no like fixed number of bets to place per day, but you can see on WinBet, even just getting one good bet, looking really hard on OddsJam, being ruthless about it, checking OddsJam consistently, like of course I do. I mean, I love sports betting. I love betting on sports. Allowed me to find this, Kings plus 200, which now, if I wanted to, I could hit this cash out button and I could earn a risk-free profit of $133.33. So like literally I found this bet, placed this bet in freaking 30 seconds. I saw the Kings plus 200. I saw the line on the offshore books and I was like, this is a freaking good line. I placed it and now I can make $265 risk-free. I'm going to leave it open because lines continue to move towards the Kings. But the point is, like, even if there's a slow day, you'll still make money on OddsJam if you're looking for good lines and you're checking it consistently. So we can continue to look. I'm going to avoid, most of these. I'll do another live stream tomorrow. This was really my first one to get my, feet wet or whatever you say. And there are some good lines out there. Nothing that's like amazing. Like there's no Kings plus 200, but there are some ARBs. Again, even on a maximum limited MGM account, I could go through all of these ARBs between Twin Spires and MGM, make like $10 risk free. It's not exciting, but again, like you shouldn't be trying to get rich sports betting. Like these are slow gains that compound over a long period of time. Maybe your goal is to make $50 a day, $30 a day, $100 a day, whatever it is. You want to see those gains build up over time. So I think I'm going to call it quits at that. There's not that many lines out. We already placed one of these bets, but I hope you found it helpful. If you have questions about OddsJam, I would highly recommend reaching out to us. We're happy to help. We're happy to tell you what are the best sports books in your state. Again, the OddsJam Platinum Plan, faster speeds, more sports books. Like the more sharp sports books you have the information from, the better. So check out the OddsJam Platinum Plan. We'll give you a free trial of it. And that's really all I have. So thanks so much for your time.